Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the V model. V model is the verification and validation model. V model also refers to as the verification and validation model. In this, each phase of SDLC means software development life cycle, must complete before the next phase starts. It follows the sequential design process is same as the waterfall model. Testing of testing of the device is planned in parallel with a corresponding stage of development. The software development life cycle must complete before the next phase starts. Before starting the next phase, we have to complete the before past phase. Okay, that is the major goal of the software development life cycle. Okay, this as per before studying every model, the every model is basing on the waterfall model only. That's why it follows the sequential design process same as the waterfall model. Okay, coming to the design part of the diagram how it looks, it is a V structured and nothing but looking like a V. Okay, V for victory. Okay, that's for I am telling a sample example. V for victory, you can remember easily. V for victory, you can you can reach the victory. V is the while looking to the other side of the V, developer's life cycle, and other side is the tester's life cycle. Developer's life cycle means what are the business requirement specification, system requirement specification, high level design, low level design, and coding part. And after coding part, I have to test these are the tester's life cycle: unit testing and component testing and system integration testing and acceptance testing. That's why having the validation and verification. Validation means have to analyze the document, analyze the requirements of the customer side, have to identify the design and how it is a high level design or it is the low level design. I have to identify. After that, I have to complete the code part. After completion of the code, I have to test the each and every page of functionality by the unit testing or component testing or system integration testing or acceptance. This is the basic V diagram. This is the verification validation model. We can explain in a brief manner about each topic of the verification phases and validation phases. In coming to verification, what is verification? It involves a static analysis method done without executing the code. Without executing the code, the verification it is to be done. It is the process of evaluation of the product development and process to find whether specified requirements meet. Just as per the documentation only, the customer wants some application. Okay, whether it is correct or not, you have to identify and you have to gather the requirements and to find out the requirements to fulfill either it is a high level design or a low level design, and next you have to do the coding. Okay, now the validation process, it involves the dynamic analysis method, whether it is functional or non-functional. Testing is done by executing the code. Okay, you are executing the code to test the application. Validation is the process to classify the software after the completion of the development process to determine whether the software meets the customer expectations and requirements. Validation means to test the application whether it is working properly or not. To checking the each component while clicking the button and typing some text in the text box, clicking the radio button, clicking the checkbox button, and page navigation is properly are done. While you inserting some values, the data is inserting into the database or not. Each and everything it is to be testing done in the validation part. Okay, next one. So V model contains the verification phases on one side validation phases. అంటే That's mean nothing but one side validation and other side verification. Verification, after the verification phase, and it contains verification and validation phases. Okay, V model contains the verification phases on one side, of the validation phases on the other side. Verification and validation process is joined by coding phase in V model. Both phases are same, and how these phases are joined at the time of coding part only. These two phases are verification phases and validation phases are joined with the coding part. That's why it is known as V model. Okay, there are the various phases of verification phases of V model. What are their? Business requirement analysis. What are the requirement of analysis? What type of requirements are there for the business? This is the first step where product requirement understand from the customer side. This phase contains detailed communication to understand customers' expectations and exact requirements. What are the requirements? You have to know clearly. Without knowing clearly, we can't initiate to a step forward to do what we have to do. We don't know. No, we have to consent clearly as per the customer requirements. Okay, these are the requirements we needed. Okay, we can do or not later on. Okay, we have to gather the clear requirements from the customer side. Okay, these are the business requirements. System design means in this stage, system engineers analyze and interpret the business of the proposed system by studying the user requirement documents. Suppose the customers wants, while you looking at the customer studying the different websites, look and feel, as the look and feel, the customer studying different websites. I want this type of screen, I want this type of button, I want this type of icon, please change my application design. This type of requirements are done by the customer side. Okay, we have to propose systems. This is the proposed system by the customer. Okay, nothing but an user requirements. Okay, architecture design means the baseline in selecting the architecture is that it should understand all, which typically consists of the list of modules, brief functionality of each module, their interface relationships, dependencies, database tables, architecture diagram, technology, detail, etc. The integration testing model is carried out in a particular phase. Total architecture, each and everything, it is to be discussed in the architectural design. Without proper design with the application, even a single step also it's not moved, not to be designed. Okay, that's why without architecture design we can't decide what are the relations and what are the dependencies and what are the database tables and what type of designs. Each and everything it is to be done by the architectural engineering. That is nothing architectural design, the designer, architectural designer. Okay, that is each and everything it is to be done by the architectural designer. Okay, next one is the module design. In the module design phase, the system breaks down into small modules. The detailed design of the modules is specified, which is known as low level design. After splitting the design modules, we can easily observe whether it is high level or low level design. After that, it is a coding part. Coding phase means coding phase means after designing phase, the coding phase is started. Based on the requirements, a suitable programming language is decided. Okay, what type of programming you have to use for the application, whether it's you go for Java or C language or Python, which language you have to choose for the programming side, coding part. Okay, there are some guidelines and standard for coding. Before checking in the repository, the final build is optimized for better performance, and the code goes through many code reviews to check the performance. Okay, whether it is what type of code is to be used by it is properly, the work goes to the developer only. It is the coding part. Okay, next one is that there are various phases of the validation phase. coming to the validation phase, there are various phases. Okay, we have previously we discussed the phases regarding of the verification phase. This is are the phases for the validation phases. In coming to the validation phases, the first one is the unit testing. In the V model, the unit test plans are developed during the module design phase. This UTP means unit test plans are executed to eliminate the errors at code level or unit level. Why the unit testing is to be done? To eliminate some errors. Okay, a unit is the smallest entity which can independently exist. Example, a program module unit testing verifies that the smallest entity can function correctly when isolated from the rest of code's units. Okay, testing a small portion of part in the application, it is called unit testing. Okay, whether it is working properly or not. Okay, next one is the integration testing. Integration test plans are developed during the architectural design phase. These tests verify that groups created and they tested independently can coexist and communicate among themselves. Okay, this integration means integrate between the two units, nothing but that this test verify the groups, different groups, and then different unit testing, different portions of applications. It is the combination of two portions, the combination of two pages. The type of testing it is to be done by the integration testing. The combination of two functionalities or two pages, it is that type of testing it is called as integration testing. The combination of two modules. Okay, the integration testing plans are developed during the architectural design phase. These tests verify the groups created and the testing independently can coexist and communicate among themselves. Okay, system testing is nothing but system test plans are developed during the system design phase. Unlike unit and integration test plans, and system test plans are composed by the client, a business team. System test ensures that the expectations from an application developer are met. System testing means whether the application it is working in this particular operating system. Those hardware requirements and those software requirements are needed for the application to be run in a smooth manner. Okay, that's why the system testing means whether the application it is working in any operating system or only concern operating system, only particular operating system. The application is supported to only the particular database or different type of databases. The application is supported to the only for the Windows operating system, only or any other Linux operating system. Whether the application is supported to the only particular hardwares, only Lenovo hardwares, only Intel processors, only i3 processor is supported. Okay, only it is supported for the 64-bit combination or 32-bit combination. Which type of operating system it is supported, that type of test it is to be done by the system testing. Okay, then acceptance testing is related to the business requirement analysis part. It includes testing the software product in user atmosphere. Acceptance testing reveals the compatibility problems with the different systems which is available within the user atmosphere. It conjointly discovers the non-functional problems like load and performance defects within a real user atmosphere. Suppose after completing the application, the deploy the particular zip file into the networking side. The whole application needs to be published in a different track. After reaching to the every end user, every end user is testing this application. Different type of problems are getting down. That's why the different approaches, different type of problems are coming from the user side. That means different type of users are tested. That means I already we discussed now itself only that application it is not properly functioning into the for the operating system. The application is not working fastly because the page load is too much we are waiting for the next page, so much time is to be required. This type of problems are coming from the different type of users after deploying the application in the network side. Okay, the complete acceptance testing means the having must and should having the 70% of the customer satisfaction. After that only we can release the step 2 of the latest version of the second application. Okay, okay, when to use a V model when the requirements is well defined and not ambiguous. Okay, when to use a V model when the requirements is well defined and not ambiguous, not to be in confusion stage. Okay, V-shaped model should be used for the small to medium sized projects where requirements are clearly defined and fixed. And V model should be chosen when small technical resources are available with essential technical expertise. Okay, this type of points are required for the to choose the V model. Okay, so you have to choose the V model means you having sample technical resources are available with essential technical expertise. Okay, it is V model is used for the small to medium sized projects. Okay, and what are the advantages? It is for the V model, it is easy to understand. Testing methods like planning, testing, designing happens well before coding part. Okay, this saves a lot of time, hence a higher chance of success over the waterfall model, avoids the downwards flow of defects, work well for small plans where requirements are easily understood. This type of benefits are there for the V model. Okay, next, what are the disadvantages? Very rigid and least flexible, not a good for a complex project, the software is developed during the implementation stage, so no early prototypes of softwares are produced. If any changes happen in the midway, then the test documents along with the requirement documents has to be uploaded. At the time of we have testing the document, the proper requirement given by the customer side, automatically the new page of test document, the new page of the designing part or code part, that is must and should be updated. Okay, automatically it is done in a midway. Suddenly any changes are occur in the application, the changes are to be done at the testing side and the development side also. Okay, that is to be for it is the last point discussion. Okay, this is a very useful topic for the software engineering. If you having any queries regarding this topic, you can ask me you can put a comment in the channel. Okay, and please subscribe my channel, Jai Sri Ram Education channel. And thank you all of you.